All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. I'm Sheriff Bart Heslington, the Bear Lake County Sheriff's Office. Our situation is that yesterday, on Thursday the 27th, our dispatch center received a call from some people that were recreating here at Bear Lake. Some young men were digging in the sand and unearthed what they believed at that time to be possibly skeletal human remains. Myself and deputies responded to the scene and confirmed that it does appear that they have located some human remains. That being a mandible with teeth still intact. As you can see, we've established a perimeter to preserve the integrity of the scene. Right now, the area that it's located on is area that is under the authority of Idaho Department of Lands. It is public ground. We are coordinating our efforts with the Department of Lands. We've reached out to Idaho State University, to their anthropology department, and they have assembled a team to come and help us in assessing and examining the area to determine if there are other remains and to help us in efforts of identification. So right now we're coordinating with ISU's forensic anthropologists, with our coroner and Department of Lands in assessing and investigating this scene. Out of respect for their privacy, we are not revealing anything about the identity of the young men that located these initially, and I don't have a whole lot of information about who this might be, where the remains age, any of those kinds of things. I can tell you that researching the files from the Bear Lake County Sheriff's Office, we do not have any cold cases involving unrecovered remains or unrecovered subjects. We have not had cases where someone has gone missing on the lake, whether in a boating or swimming accident or anything like that have not been recovered. I've also coordinated with Sheriff Stacy on the Utah side, and they do not have any outstanding cases of that nature either. Bear Lake is kind of a unique dynamic. It splits the border between Utah and Idaho, so we work closely with them on their side also. So we're kind of researching historically beyond those timelines, which are probably 35 years, to see if we have any information about any other people that are potentially missing, that might have gone missing on the lake. And outside of that, everything is kind of, it's under investigation, and that's about all of the information that we have right now.
So
okay?
Mandibles, is that just like teeth in a jaw, or what is
Mandible is the lower jaw. So it's the entire jaw from the hinge point around. Seems to be primarily intact.
Did the department dig beyond what the guys did?
No. We immediately just locked down the scene, and I reached out to the anthropology department to rely on their expertise in the proper way to excavate or to examine the scene so that we didn't compromise or destroy any potential evidence.
How deep was that buried?
It's kind of hard to say. You can see in the background is where they were. There was an area where they had dug, some deeper, some more shallow. I guess at the deepest point they dug is probably 2 feet, and then ranging anywhere from there on up. So it was somewhere in that depth level.
How busy does this part of the lake get?
Extremely busy. Yeah, extremely busy. Basically from the state park this way, it's pretty much elbow to elbow along the shoreline. So there's a lot of people, and they're here consistently through the entire summer season.
And has Bear Lake been receding recently? And is that maybe something that has revealed this area, or is this place always sandy?
So the typical pattern with Bear Lake is, depending on snow levels, in the spring as melt and runoff happens, the lake level rises. If you look along the edges, you can see what we call the high water mark, and that's where the water will get to. And then over the course of the summer, with water being pulled from the lake for agricultural use and different things, the water level does decrease over the year. But it's very typical for this much of the lake to be exposed during the majority of the summertime.
I guess taking all that into account, how much this area is used, if it had been there for a while, is it I don't know, surprising that it was found?
It's hard to say, and that's certainly a discussion that I will be having with the anthropologists, because the fact that this area of the lake bed is exposed commonly, and because of the volume of traffic that we do see here. I guess in a way you could think that it is surprising that it would be here for a period of time. I think it would be irresponsible for me to venture a guess as to how old or how long they've been there or anything like that. We'll rely on the experts for that.
Is it common to call anthropologists in something like this, or what exactly prompted you to maybe weigh the options in calling anthropologists?
I made that decision based on the fact that, I guess we all have our areas of expertise. I have mine, you folks have yours, anthropologists have theirs. This kind of an investigation of a scene and recovery of a scene certainly falls outside of my area of expertise. And so in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation and not to compromise any potential evidence that's there, that's why we reached out to them to basically enlist their area of expertise.
And just to be clear, with what you know, it's still hard to say whether it's male, female, how old the person is, how long has been there, kind of thing.
Right. I wouldn't even start to venture any guess with that.
With people hearing there was human remains found at Bear Lake, is there any concern for safety of the public?
I don't think there's a concern for safety. Like I say, they are skeletal remains. There is no indication that we've had any recent activity. So I don't see that it poses any kind of a public threat.
You said that your records go back how far? You said like 35 years or something like that?
Yeah, I'm relying on my tenure here at the sheriff's office and the tenure of the sheriff that was in office prior to me. He and I have been in discussion. We've checked our records. Sheriff Stacy has been with the Rich County Sheriff's Office for an extended period of time. So, and of course their record system. So that's kind of the pool of timeline that we've looked at.
You said that y'all are having to start going into more of a historical record, right?
Yeah, and I guess when I say historical record, maybe some of that is anecdotal. Things have started to filter in from people that say, kind of in this timeline, we heard that somebody went missing. In this timeline, we heard that, a person may have gone missing. So we're kind of exploring those pieces of information to see if they might have any correlation to our situation here.
Just generally speaking, your time here, something like this, is this a pretty unusual, thing to happen? Does this kind of top your...
This is a first for me. So I've been involved in law enforcement for quite a while. I have had I've been called many times to situations where someone thinks that they may have possibly found skeletal human remains. This is the first time in my experience that it's proven to be the case.
Do you have a timeline on their likely investigation for the university?
The anthropologist team, I've been in communication with them this morning. They're on their way. They were anticipating arriving here probably around 9 o'clock to get started.
I don't have anything else. Alrighty.
Anything else? All right, thank you.